All right, everyone, ignore that countdown. I tried. All right. We are going to start at 6 o'clock, regardless of what the countdown said. Um, it is time for Sunday Funday. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you've had a great Easter Sunday. Hope you've hunted Easter eggs or eaten Easter candy or taken a nap or spent time with family. Whatever is a good celebration for you, I hope you've been able to do that today on Resurrection Day, Easter Sunday. And we're going to have some fun here. We're going to do a couple of games. We're going to talk about Easter symbols. And so we're going to be looking at that tonight. So I'm going to wait just a minute longer in case somebody started the stream and said, "Oh, I got 3 minutes," and decided to run to the restroom or whatever. I'll give you a few more moments to get back. And then we're just going to get started. I hope this is working. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, give me a quick hello in the chat. Let me know if and when you can hear me. Seeing me is not as important. If you can see the slide and you can hear me, that's all that really matters. And then we will get started here in just a moment. So hope everyone is having a wonderful Easter. It is time for Sunday Funday, our Easter edition for 2022. And I don't know if anybody's going to join or not. I know a lot of times people are busy on Easter, but those of you that have been attending Sunday Funday know I've been having challenges with the stream on Sunday nights, and I've been making some changes trying to fix that. And so I want to go ahead and do one tonight. We'll see who shows up. If nobody shows up, then it's going to be an interesting time because a lot of the activities I have for us to do aren't necessarily games as much as they are just trying to get you interacting and letting me hear some of your thoughts on things. So if we don't have anyone join, then it'll go pretty fast. But all right, if you're on, you can give me a quick hello in the chat. As soon as I know someone can see and hear me, or see the slides and hear me, then we will get started. And we end up starting 3 minutes after anyway. I probably should have let the countdown timer go at its own pace. I think that's what it was at. It was about 3 minutes to go. So maybe I should have just left it running. But all right, I do see some people are on. I can't tell who at this moment. But if you cannot hear me, hi, Miss Judy. Sorry we missed you too. Although I heard that was a joyous occasion for you today. So Miss Judy visited another church because she had a family thing going on, and that's always exciting. And you have family activities, especially of the sort that Miss Judy had this morning. So that's exciting. Hi, Miss Vera. All right, thank you for letting me know you can see and hear me. We're going to get started then. Hi, Will. Good evening. Can see and hear. All right, appreciate you letting me know that. So we're going to jump right in. First activity tonight is a word search. So I want you to be looking for Easter symbols. And similar to how I've done this in the past, I'm not going to give you the word list. Hi, Carol. Good evening. I'm not going to give you the word list yet. You just have to start trying to find them and call them out to me. If we get kind of stumped, or maybe just at some point along the way, I will then show you the word list. And then after that, I will show you the answers as well. So I don't have a way to present the answers as you find them, but I will let you know when you're right. And then I'll show the answers as well. So if you can see this, I tried to make it as big as possible. The word list was a square, so I couldn't fill up the entire screen, but I made it go top to bottom. So if you're on a phone, maybe that's viewable. If not, you can let me know that too. I might just try to avoid these in the future, but I know in the past I've had them a little bit smaller and it was really difficult. So I was hoping this one might be big enough. But what Easter symbols can you find in this word search? Anybody see any of them? Just shout them out on the comments when you see them, and let me know what you're finding. I always have a little bit of a hesitation because I don't know how long my lag is from when I tell you something to you seeing it, being able to respond back. All right, so Carol sees new clothes. That is in there. Good job. I didn't think people would find that one. Carol's seeing chicks. Will is seeing egg. Carol sees palm leaves. All right. So at least I know on the your devices, it's visible. I don't know about everybody. Some people may not be able to get that large enough to see on the video device there. By the way, if you ever want to set this up where you can see it on something larger, let me know. I'll be happy to do my best to help out. Carol sees lilies. All right. Hi, Darlene. Good to see you. No, it's never late here with Sunday Funday. We just got started, actually. I started a timer that began at 3.5 minutes at about 1 minute till or 2 minutes till, something like that. I don't remember exactly where it was, but all I remember is sitting looking at it going, how can I change this timer? And so we're just getting started. Darlene, good to have you with us. We're looking for Easter symbols in this. All right. Carol sees candy. I'm going to go ahead and show the word list. This will help me as you guys are starting to spout them off to kind of check them off one by one. So let me go ahead and share the word list. So these are the words we're looking for. And as you can see, we've already found palm leaves. I want to leave out the ones that are partials. Chicks, new clothes. We found lilies. We found candy, Easter basket, egg. All right, we've got two people finding egg, but that egg is going to be with either Easter eggs or egg hunt. So take a look and see. Cross. All right, cross is in there. These are all symbols that we use at Easter time. We'll talk about some of these. We're not going to talk about all these tonight. We really don't have enough time to try to cover all of them. We're going to cover some of these and have some fun along the way as we go. All right, so Will found egg hunt. I think that was the egg you were probably referring to earlier, was from egg hunt. So we've got, let's see, no one's found bunny yet that I'm aware of. Did we find rabbit? Oh, I guess we haven't found rabbit either. So bunny and rabbit, both are still out there. Chicks we found, lilies we found. Someone found cross. A couple people found cross. Make sure if you find cross that it's either cross or hot cross buns, one or the other. Both of those are in there. Easter basket, we found that. We found palm leaves. I don't think we found empty tomb yet. We did find new clothes, candy, and then as I mentioned, Easter basket and egg hunt. All right, so we still need bunny and rabbit. Anybody seeing those? I got to give me an easier way to be able to like highlight where they are as you guys find them, so it makes it easier to look for other things. But you guys are finding these fast. That's good. All right. So give a little bit more time here. Put you on the clock. A few more of these. All right, we'll find empty tomb right to left. All right, so we found that one. I think we're still looking for bunny and rabbit. And I don't know if we found hot cross buns. Oh, bunny, Christy, bunny, 5th row. Y is the second from the bottom. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5th row. Oh, 5th column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so bunny, there it is. All right. All right, Darlene found buns and bunny so close together. All right, so she found bunny and buns for hot cross buns. All right. Yeah, my eyes are too, Carol, and I'm actually looking at it on a computer. So if you're looking at it on a phone, you have more of a challenge than I do. All right. I think I hear my clock ticker expired. So here are the words we were looking for. All right, so candy was at the top. Cross was second row there. Oh, okay, Will found hot cross buns, which was the second column going down. I can't see my little pointer there. And then lilies and new clothes all coming down from the top. From left to right, we had rabbit, hot cross buns, and Easter eggs, which went up. Made that one kind of hard to find. Then go to the middle, had Easter basket and chicks. All of these were found. Empty tomb backwards, just below that. Bunny going down beside empty tomb. And then egg hunt towards the bottom and palm leaves towards the bottom. So, all right, good job. I think All of these were found, if I kept up with that correctly. So good job. All right. Well, obviously the bunny is one of those uh, symbols of Easter you see all the time. It's probably one of the more commercial. I think that's what the businesses like to promote is the bunny because it's kind of lovable and easy to cartoon and not quite as um, gory as the cross would lead to, and maybe not quite as controversial as the empty tomb would be for advertising purposes. But so the bunny is kind of a very common one. But I'm going to give you an assignment. You have one assignment with this. I want you to name this bunny. All right, I have a picture of a bunny right there. It's a small white-haired bunny, typical ears with a little pink on the inside. What are you going to name this bunny? I want to know everybody's name for this bunny. That's your assignment on this slide is to name the bunny. Ah, Mr. Hughes gonna name it Chocolate Bunny. All right. Don't name it that around Christy or she's liable to eat it if she thinks it's chocolate. Ooh, Christy asked if it's a girl or a boy. I'm gonna let you decide. You can make it be either one you want to, Christy. All right, so Mr. Hughes gonna name it Harry. Okay. I like that little play on words there. Harry. Carol's going to name it Cotton. All right. Which I find interesting. There's not really much of a tail showing there, is it? So, oh, Darlene's going to name it Snow. Okay. I can get that with the white coat there. All right. Christy's going to name hers a girl name. She's going to name it Pearl. So, is that going to be Mini Pearl? Are you going to put a price tag hanging off her ear? Or just Pearl? So, I like it, Will. Will's going to name his Fred. I like that. Don't worry with the color or any kind of Easter connection there. It's just Fred. I like it. All right. Well, the bunny, the rabbit, the hare, if you will, pun intended, it is definitely one of those symbols of Easter you see a lot. And it's one of those that, like a lot of our traditions, kind of come from being incorporated from other religions. As I've mentioned this before at Christmas and at Easter both, that as people came to know Christ, as they came to hear the gospel message, many times they were coming from another tradition. They already had beliefs before they encountered the gospel. And many times those beliefs included festivals and activities and things of that nature. As people would leave those religions, they would leave those belief systems. Oftentimes they still had, members of their society, maybe even large portions of their society that were celebrating those things. And so they wanted to be able to celebrate their new beliefs, their newfound faith, their Savior that they've heard about. And so they would often kind of incorporate some of the things they had seen before. Since Easter, which we refer to as Easter, the resurrection was being celebrated and based on the lunar months, which I mentioned before. We did our sermon series this month that Easter is calculated based on the lunar system. That's because the Jewish calendar for that first month is based on the lunar system. So Passover, which always falls on the 14th, begins on the 14th of that first month, is based off of that. So Christians then based their calculation of when to celebrate Easter roughly off of that as well, so that we're celebrating around the time that Jesus would have been celebrating the Passover and then was crucified and buried and rose again. So I mentioned that before, but anyway, because it's therefore a spring type of phenomenon. It always occurs around what would generally be considered springtime, depending on where you're at in the globe. I guess if you're in the southern hemisphere, it may not ever be considered spring. I'm not sure, but for a large portion of the Christian world at that time, the people where it was really beginning to expand there in Europe, and as it moved out of the Middle East and up into Europe, there was a lot of people there. That was springtime, and a lot of their existing faiths and religions used springtime activities as things to celebrate. And the hare was a pagan symbol of fertility. It was something that they would often celebrate as something that brought life. And it always started to show itself during the springtime. And when you saw the rabbit starting to appear then that meant spring was coming and new life was coming and things were going to start blooming. And so it was kind of a symbol for them of new life. And as Christians begin to celebrate the resurrection obviously falls in spring too. So they begin to incorporate some of the traditions they already had there, but just being a spring type thing. But it's also kind of the idea that new life is what the resurrection is about. Jesus was dead. His life had ended, and yet he came out of that tomb with new life. And that's what he offers us. He promises us that his death, burial, and resurrection gives us the power to crucify our old selves and the things that we did before and our sinful nature, and be resurrected to new life with him. And so that's kind of why the rabbit is kind of a tie-in there with Easter. It's not too uncommon that it would be celebrated there, because it does generally fall in March or April. Also, one thing to think about: the rabbit kind of burrows down into the ground, and that burrow of the rabbit kind of signifies also the tomb that Jesus went into. And then he emerged from that tomb, much like a rabbit would emerge from its burrow as the springtime is coming, and a symbol of life there. When Jesus came out of that tomb, he offered us life. So that's kind of one of the things around the rabbit. We mentioned the new clothes. I thought I'd throw this one in here. I couldn't find a good picture of the kids having to have their picture made at Christmas time, although I really wanted to. But I did find this picture here that I thought was kind of cute. Kind of looks like they're getting ready for Easter Sunday. The one chicken there, one egg chicken. Not sure what that is. It's either yellow egg or it's a chick. Got the little hat bonnet on, and the other one, I guess maybe not quite as dressed up for Easter. But in either case, it looks like they're getting ready for church. And that idea of wearing something new to Easter service was pretty common. I think still is to a large degree. I know I've told this before, and I always tell it around Easter time just because it's a good memory I have of my grandmother. She used to always tell us that if you don't wear something new on Easter, a bird will poop on your head. And I never really believed that she was told that when she was little. I always just assumed she made it up as something to tell us that she, would be funny. But I really, not quite sure. Maybe she was told that as a child, because it is apparently, having new clothes for Easter Sunday was apparently a tradition for a long time. Miss Judy said in 1969, Easter was on April 12th. And that's when her son Tim would have been born, but he was born in March. Okay, so he would have been born on Easter if he'd gone with his original due date. But that idea of having new clothes for Easter service was kind of a European thing that kind of sprung up as the gospel began to spread there. And the outfits symbolized kind of a rebirth, a new life idea of putting on something new. Again, that idea that when Jesus came from the tomb, he was presenting new life for us. And also, there was a long-standing superstition that many people at that time had that if you wore new clothes to church on Easter Sunday, it would bring good luck for the coming year. So obviously, a lot of ancient things, traditions revolved around good luck and things of that nature. So it became kind of common people to wear like a fancy bonnet. So Easter bonnets then became a tradition over time. And I read, I have no idea how to validate this, but I read that over time, it kind of became a tradition that after Easter Sunday service, people would go out into the streets and kind of parade through the streets, showing off their new outfits, their new bonnets and finery and all the fancy gear they had. So that was kind of part of how the wearing something new on Easter kind of came into play. I don't know if anyone else does that still today. I did wear some new shoes today. I had to buy new shoes recently. The other ones were killing my back, and so I wore them today. And I did think about that as I was putting them on. I'm like, it's safe to stand by me today because I'm wearing something new on Easter. So, all right, next item. Anybody have anything about Easter outfits you want to throw in? Feel free to chime in, by the way, at any time during these. This is more of a conversation as we go through here. Obviously, we'll be looking at scriptures and things like that as we go, but it really is intended to be a conversation. So if you have a favorite Christmas, where'd that come from? You have a favorite Easter outfit you want to bring up or something like that. I always enjoy mostly watching the children's outfits at Easter, because that's when the young boys get put into like vests and jackets and ties and things like that, and you can tell they do not like that, and they're fighting it. I also saw an interesting graphic, which I'm going to try to share here. I thought it was funny. You guys may have heard of this fellow that calls himself Matt the Ostrich. I don't know much about him, but I saw this on Facebook and thought it was funny. He posted this. He said, "Don't know who needs to hear this, but don't even think about changing out of your Easter clothes on Sunday till Mama gets her picture." Isn't that the truth? One thing, whether your tradition you had to wear something new or not, when you dressed up for Easter, Mama had to get a picture, and you weren't getting out of that. I like this little thing up there at the top. Don't get them dirty either. So I thought that was kind of funny, and I can figure out how to take this back off the screen. I will, but yeah, I thought that was funny. Don't think about changing out of those Easter clothes until Mama gets her picture. That's a Southern tradition if I ever saw one. All right, next up, Easter eggs. So we're going to be looking at the idea of Easter eggs. Anybody love dyeing Easter eggs? I know I used to enjoy that. I used to think that was just a lot of fun. The whole process of putting them down in the colored dye and the vinegar and water and waiting longer. And the longer you let them sit there, the more vibrant the color became. So you kind of control how much color was in that one particular one. And I always thought that was a lot of fun, and I have a lot of great memories of doing that with my mom. She enjoyed doing Easter eggs, and even as my children were younger, great memories of dyeing Easter eggs and having fun that way. But here's your assignment. All right, I told you I want to get things from you guys. How many words can you form from these letters using each letter only as many times as it appears in the phrase? And the phrase, if you can't see it on your phone, is Happy Easter. So I want you to come up with as many. You can just pepper them to me as fast as you want to. Any words you can come up with. For example, you could put the word eat, because there is an E, A, and a T in these words. That is one word. So I don't remember the name of what this game is when you do that. There is a name for this. It's a common game, but I can't think of what it is. But that's the rule. You can only use the letter as many times as it appears. You can use two P's, but you can only use one H, that sort of thing. So how many words can you make out of these? All right, we got star. I'm going to start popping some of these up on the screen as we go. All right. So we got eat and star. I threw eat out there, so that'll be my one contribution. Oh, we got yeast. All right, good job. Pappy. All right. Paste. You guys are getting fancy on me now. I can't even keep up with trying to validate these. I'll just take your word for it. Path. Yeah, it's the shorter ones I can validate quickly. Sappy. All right. I was playing a game similar to this just last night. All right. Got a couple of them in here. Past. Uh-oh. I messed something up. All right. Looks like the broadcast is still on, so let me get the stuff back on the screen. I don't know what I did to destroy that, but all right. All right. So let me go back and see. All right. You guys got something waiting for me here. I have no idea what I did, but I messed that up somehow. So. All right, let me catch up. Yeah, I continue to. Now I'm seeing answers from way back. All right, if I missed yours, I apologize. I'm trying to catch up here. We got share. We got years. We got tease. We got yip. We got wrap. We got hearts. Tape. Taper. Rest. Oh, somebody else found tap. No, we didn't have tap yet. We had tapper or taper. Tap, tape, strip. All right. Well, you guys are doing good. All right. I'm going to cut us off. I just want to see how many words you could make out of Happy Easter. And let me see what we got the longest word. If we get any kind of recognition for the longest word here. 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a couple of 6-letter. So yeah, it looks like hearts might be our longest. Step, prep. All right. All right. Well, we will move on, assuming I don't mess up something here again. And now your next assignment, that's why I'm kind of moving us on. We got pay as well. All right. Our next assignment, use these eggs in a meal. You know, that's what happens at the end of Easter. You got all those dyed Easter eggs. Still got words coming in. Peas. All right. You got all those dyed Easter eggs, and you got to use them somehow. So now your assignment is you got a stack of these boiled eggs that have been dyed blue and orange and yellow, and you need to use them. At least some of them. Not use all of them. It can be just one if you want to, but how are you going to use it? It can be it can be simple. It can be complex. How are you going to use these eggs that are left over? These are the ones that the dogs didn't eat while they were searching for Easter eggs. The ones that the kids didn't drop about 10 times until they're all cracked and like the shell's already been off of them. There's grass stuck down in the shell. We're not talking about those eggs. We're talking about the ones that made it through unscathed. How are you going to use those eggs in a meal? All right, Carol's making potato salad. All right. Definitely like some egg in my potato salad. Oh, Miss Judy's going the same route. I got to show these. Potato salad, potato salad. All right. We got deviled eggs. Okay. How else? Boiled eggs and a green salad. Okay, I like boiled eggs on my salad as well, so I'm with that. That's one thing I like about going to a salad bar. Is it's one of the few places you get the chopped up boiled eggs to put on the salad. I never do it at home when I'm making a salad. All right, I'm disappointed though we haven't had anybody do like, oh, okay, there, Christy came in for me. All right, thank you, Christy. Egg salad sandwich. Yes, I was expecting that to be one of the options there. And of course, no one else has said, there you go, another egg salad sandwich. They were all coming in at the same time. No one else has said just eating the boiled egg. I almost said raw egg. That's bad. Eating the boiled egg. No one likes to eat it just by itself. Egg salad. All right, look at that. We got egg salads coming in all at the same time. That's funny. Everybody's on the same page here. So, all right. So you did a good job. You used them in a meal. But like a lot of the other symbols of Easter, eggs came down from like pre-Christian traditions, things that people were already doing with other beliefs and kind of incorporated it into their newfound faith when they came to know Christ. But it's one of those that's kind of like an obvious connection. I mean, the egg couldn't have been made any more perfect for this discussion of the resurrection than any other food, any other egg animal. Anyway, it's perfect for it. Easter is the festival remembering and celebrating the resurrection of Christ. It also comes in springtime, as we've mentioned before, with the idea of the rabbits and that idea of new life and new birth. When the idea of an egg being life inside of it and it coming out. The Easter egg also, as in a way, symbolizes the tomb of Jesus that he came out of, and new life emerging. So it's one of those that definitely has its roots in other activities even before that. But it was kind of a no-brainer in terms of using it as a part of celebrating the resurrection, particularly for people that were used to that idea of using eggs in a celebration, in a festival. So another symbol, and one that I really like, is the symbol of the lamb. You don't see it as much maybe, but you do see it from time to time. The little lamb running around or laying down on the cuddled up. It looks so soft and furry, and I said furry. And but the lamb is probably one of the, I don't know, I don't want to say best Christian symbols, because there's not a best. These are all fine symbols as long as they remind us of what Christ has done for us. And a symbol can be a good thing. But it's really one of the most, I would say, Bible-centered symbol that we have, one that didn't get pulled from other places. When John the Baptist saw Jesus for the first time, what were his words? He says, "Behold, the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." He was already telling people that the Messiah, Jesus, was going to be that lamb, similar to what was offered on the sacrifices there in Israel to atone for sin. Jesus was going to be that lamb that was going to take away the sin of everyone. And the symbol of that lamb is so strongly shown throughout the entire Old Testament and even into the New Testament that it makes sense for it to be a symbol of Easter. So Miss Judy said that she was told the yellow in an egg was to represent the sun. That would make sense too. I like that. But the lamb symbol comes from the Jewish Passover. When they were eating the Passover meal, that was a lamb that was to be killed. Back in Egypt, when God was bringing them out at the very first event that would set up the celebration of Passover, He told them to kill the Passover lamb, and sometimes referred to as the Paschal lamb or the Paschal lamb. And so that was the lamb that was consumed or eaten there, shown to be as a sacrifice, showing what was going to happen, what was going to come. And Jesus definitely presented himself as that. We also see that the lamb has become kind of a central part of celebrating the resurrection. On a couple of occasions, we also see scripture referring to that. Peter, in his epistle, he writes in 1 Peter 1:18, "For as much as you know that you were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold, from your vain conversation received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of Christ, as of a lamb without blemish, without spot." Again, pointing that idea out that Jesus came and he died for us the same way that a lamb was used as a sacrifice, who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you, who by him do believe in God, that raised him up from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in God. So we're being reminded, even in the New Testament, they were saying Jesus was that lamb, the one that was the perfect sacrifice, the final sacrifice to cover our sins. I mentioned during our sermon series this month, that Paul talks in 1 Corinthians 5:7, where he calls Jesus, Christ, our Passover. He says, "For even Christ, our Passover, is sacrificed for us." That word Passover was the word Pascha, is that lamb, the Passover lamb that was slain. And that word Pascha usually referred to as referring to the Passover itself as the meal, as the one day of the whole week of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That one day generally being referred to as the Passover when they took that meal. So anyway, obviously the lamb, a beautiful picture there. Another one I have no idea, candy. I don't know where that symbol came from. I think it's just because we love our sweets. You can't have a celebration without sweets. So I guess that's where that comes in. I couldn't really find any real tie-in. But here's your assignment for this one. You have one vote only. What is the best Easter candy ever? I'm waiting for people to tell me. What is the best Easter candy ever? And you will be judged for your answers by everyone around. I know Christy's sitting there perplexed because she's like, I can't pick just one. Yes, you have one vote only. Best Easter candy ever. All right, Will's going with the Cadbury cream egg. He said, all right, I've established it. This is the best Easter candy ever, is the Cadbury cream egg. Can that be the caramel cream egg, Will? Because I could possibly fall in the blind there if it's the caramel cream egg. If it's just the regular Cadbury cream egg, I'm not so sure. I can go along with that. I do like the caramel ones, though. This is what I knew would happen. Christy, oh my, one ever. Christy's going to go with the Cadbury mini eggs. And Christy probably knows I have to share this story. We went this past week to see Jaden graduate from basic training, and we're on the plane, and Christy reaches in her purse and pulls out a little pouch. It's a little Pampered Chef pouch thing that she has, and in that pouch were little mini eggs. I told Christy she's the only person I know of that travels with her own little bag of Easter candy. I'm guessing they were probably Cadbury mini eggs, is what I'm guessing they were. I can't always tell those things apart, but everybody else is either holding out on me, trying to decide, or they just don't want to commit to one best. So, or we lost some people. I don't know. Maybe people got hungry and talking about eating lamb and all that. Ooh, Carol brought up an interesting one. Now, a lot of you may not know my mama. That was my mom's mom. She had a homemade strawberry candy that she used to make, and that, Carol, I hadn't thought of that candy in a long time, but I could probably get behind that. That's a very good candy there. All right, so Christy's admitting yes, that was Cadbury eggs that she had. I will agree with you there. Well, I would have to have the caramel to make it be one of the best candies. The commercial with the Easter bunny sitting there barking, buck, 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 buck. That is one of the best commercials ever. All right, Miss Hughes to go with a chocolate bunny as being the go-to there. I can see that. I can't argue with that. A good chocolate bunny is about as good as anything else. And Darlene, see, you guys are all like convincing me here. Just when I see someone, I say, hey, I can get behind that. Somebody else brings up another one. And those Reese Cup eggs, yep. Carol and Darlene both throwing those Reese's eggs out there. So, all right, you guys have done a good job with this one. I like where you're going with that. I'm gonna move us on though. You can still throw one in if I've missed somebody or didn't see yours. But our next assignment, we're going to talk about another tradition is that of the chick. You know, the chick is definitely a symbol of Easter. You see it, out there. So here's another. I got 3 assignments for you on this particular one. First one is name this chick. You know, he's a cute little guy. I remember when I was, I don't know how old I was, but when I was in elementary school, the church we went to in Green Pond, they had this promotion, and I want to say it was at Easter, and if you rode the bus to church, because they had a bus, that would go out and pick people up and bring them to church. If you rode the bus to church, you got a free chick. And Carol and I both rode the bus to church, even though we were going to be at church anyway. Our parents were going to be driving to church. We rode the bus just so we get the free chick. And that chick didn't last very long, but they were so cute, these little chicks there. All right, Mr. Hughes got Peaks chicks. So, all right, Will's naming his Gertie. I like that name. That chicken looks like a Gertie. I'm with you on that one, Will. Who else is going to name this chick for me? Again, to Chrissy's point, you can make it a boy name or a girl name. It's entirely up to you. I don't know which one that chick is. Imagine that chicken doesn't know what he is yet either. So I don't know when chickens become self-aware. All right, Miss Judy's going to go with velvet. Yeah, he's so soft. I can see that. Got that velvety fur. All right. Well, now I need a couple more names. You got 2 more assignments here, so I can't wait too long to give you to pick out a name. Okay, we got a couple at the same time. Bach. I can see that. I like that name. Bach, 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 Bach. and Feathers. All right. So you guys are good at naming animals. All right. So next assignment. Name the best way to eat chicken. Now that you've named a chicken, name the best way to eat chicken. What do you think is the best way to eat this delicious bird? Not that particular one. He's kind of scrawny, but chicken. What is the best way to eat chicken? Christy's gonna name her chicken or Chicky D. All right. That doesn't surprise me coming from Christy. All right, Christy, now you got to flip that around. What's the best way to eat one of these things? I had to throw that in right after we've all named it because it's always the hard part. Ooh, sesame fry. That's one of my favorites for sure. Yeah, you don't have to eat chickadee. Chickadee is too small. We'll eat chickadee in another, 6 to 8 months. So now we're just eating a different chicken, Christy. So we don't have to think of its name. Miss Judy's going fried. Yeah, fry that bad boy. Some good breading and drop in some grease. Darlene's with Christy on that one. She wants to eat chicken fried, but not the one that she just named. Not not feathers. Can't eat little feathers. Ooh, sweet and sour chicken. That sounds good too. Um, all right, so we got some good ways to eat it. All right. Next. All right, Christy's gonna go. Let's see. Smoked chicken with your white barbecues. Okay, Christy likes it when I smoke chicken in the smoker and make the white barbecue sauce to go along with it. That's one of her favorite ways to eat chicken. I figured Christy would just put not on the bone. Christy can't eat chicken if it's on the bone. But all right. Well, I have to admit, I'm happy with all of you. I'm impressed with all of you. Not one single person said this was the best way to eat chicken. So I am so glad because those are chicks, right? Those even though they're made of marshmallow, they're designed to be chicks. So when you're shoving that thing in your mouth, you're actually like eating a chick, which to me would be like baffling because I mean, no one wants to eat the chick, right? That's the little cute thing, and yet Peeps are made to exactly that. You eat the cutest form of what would be a chicken. All right, Mr. Hughes going with baked. I can go with baked chicken. I like some good baked chicken. So yeah, so I'm just glad to see no one put the Peeps. Now I just give my public service announcement every year. Don't eat Peeps. That's just disgusting. So that's just my opinion, isn't it? All right. So our third assignment, I mentioned naming the chicken, the best way to eat chicken. Now I need you all to tell me your best response and what you know about this. Tell me why you crossed the road. Well, why did this little fella decide to go across the road? I know you've got at least a half dozen answers to this question, so somebody can give me one. Why did he cross the road? At least give the obvious one. I bet that one comes in all at once from everybody, or from not everybody, but from several people. We're running out of time here. I got to move us along. No one's going to tell me why he crossed the road. While I'm waiting on those responses, this obviously the chick being a symbol of Easter, makes a lot of sense. Similar to the egg, the chick kind of represents new life. It's that newborn chicken that's just come out of the egg, and that's why they're a symbol of Easter. They're the fact that Peeps made the marshmallows in the form of a chick shows how deeply ingrained that chick idea was into Easter as a celebration. Now, why you'd want to eat it, I don't know, and why you'd want to eat it made of marshmallows, I certainly don't know. But baby chicks are definitely a symbol of Easter. Maybe because chicks are born by hatching out of an egg, which kind of symbolizes that new life, which has always been associated with Easter and that spring season overall. All right, we got some answers here. Carol says he went across the road because that's where his mama was. I can see that happening. That's a good reason the baby chick to cross the road. Judy said to get to the other side. Yes, I was hoping at least one person would give me the to get to the other side answer. Christy running away from all the New Hebron people wanting to eat him. He heard us talking about how to cook him. He's like, I'm out of here. Will's on the same page there. Christy's running away from Colonel Sanders. So, all right. So that's why the chicken crossed the road. And that's also why they're a symbol. Obviously, the idea of that new birth. And let's don't miss that when we look at these symbols. It's one thing to have symbols and to enjoy the imagery. It's also important to think about that is exactly what the empty tomb was about. It's about us having new life because Christ rose from the dead. Our past can be put behind us. Our old self can be put behind us, and we can become a new creature in him, a new creation in him. And Darlene doesn't know why I crossed the road. She's just glad he's safe, not going to be eaten. But chicks also kind of represent, Christ emerging from the tomb, that empty tomb. They come out of that shell and they leave that the same way that Jesus came out of that tomb and it was then empty. I thought that was a cute graphic, little chick in there kind of keeping tabs of the days. Jesus only took 3 days and then he came out of that tomb. But yeah, definitely one of those symbols that has a lot of meaning for us is that chick. All right, next, moving right along, we're going to wrap this up quickly. Easter lily. So obviously this type of Easter lily is what we see a lot of. Lilies became kind of a tradition and associated with Easter just because lilies in general had a Christian tradition that goes back a ways. Early Christians viewed lilies as kind of that idea of purity, often associating the pure lily there with the Virgin Mary. Even some of the lilies were referred to as Madonna lilies, named such, after Mary. And so that idea of a lily stood as purity, innocence, hope. And so a lot of times when you see artists drawing pictures or sculpting things, you often see the lily there, particularly if it has something to do with Mary in the picture. You'll often see some lilies there. It was kind of an early Christian symbol referring to her and the purity and the virgin birth of Christ. And so even some of the early paintings, you'll see the angel Gabriel visiting Mary, and sometimes he'll have a bouquet of white lilies in his hand, giving them to her. And so that was kind of an ongoing thing that was, viewed there as kind of a relationship there. And it's also, there was an early tradition, and we don't have any evidence to this. It's just kind of an early story, I guess it was nice to tell, where people would say that that lilies sprung up in the Garden of Gethsemane, where Jesus wept there in those last hours. Again, that's just kind of a made-up story, but kind of one of those things the early Christians would kind of tell as kind of a way of memorializing what Christ went through and his perfection. And but the lilies that from Jesus' time aren't going to be the same Easter lilies we have today. The ones we use for Easter lilies are native to the southern islands of Japan, and now they're cultivated in areas like California and Oregon. They've replaced what I referred to earlier as the Madonna lily, which was so often used for a while there as an Easter lily, because the Madonna lily just doesn't force very well. It's hard to get to bloom around Easter time, especially when Easter falls in March. It's one of those earlier dates. And so they moved to this other lily that was native to southern Japan. It's a lot easier to force it to bloom, and it's not quite as temperamental as the other one. So that's why they moved to that. But the lilies in Jesus' day would have been wild lilies, referred to often as lily of the valley. But the lily does serve as a reminder that the Bible mentions lilies frequently, and their symbolism there. And one of the parallels between the resurrection of Christ and the Easter lily is how it grows. It starts off as a bulb down in the ground. You can't see anything happening. You don't even know there's a plant there if you visit at the right time of the year. The only way you'll know it's there is if you saw it the year before, and it's there underneath the ground. And then as it gets time, it starts to grow, and then it pokes itself up through the ground. The next thing you know, you have a lily that's there. One lily we have in this area, the Adamaska lily, that actually does bloom right around Easter time, would be a much better option for us to be called an Easter lily, is the same way. You'll see it surface early spring, kind of the green leaves coming up out of the ground. And next thing you know, you have a lily where there was nothing there before. And similar to the way Christ was there in the tomb, seemed like nothing was happening. Disciples are all nervous, and what are we going to do now? Everything's just come to a complete halt, but it didn't. Jesus was at work, and next thing they know, he came out of that tomb. And so obviously a beautiful imagery there. Palm branches, we mentioned that in the word search, that the palm branches were a symbol. Obviously, referring usually to Palm Sunday, which people usually celebrate the Sunday before Easter, referring to that time when Jesus rode into Jerusalem before the time for Passover, when the people came out and they waved palm branches and laid them on the ground, and he rode across on a donkey, and they were singing Hosanna to the King and welcoming him as the Messiah, which they would then eventually turn on. So that's why palm branches are also celebrated as part of Easter, because that happened right as he was getting into that Easter, that Passover week, I should say, and what would then lead to his arrest and crucifixion, burial, and resurrection. So palm leaves in general also have that Easter symbolism. And then one thing I want you to remember as we kind of wrap this up, you guys had some great answers to a lot of these. I enjoyed this. Hope you did as well. But when in our passage we read this morning, when the angel talks to the women that were there to find Jesus, they said, "Be not affrighted. You seek Jesus of Nazareth, which was crucified. He is risen. He's not here." Things have changed. And then he says, "Behold the place where they laid him. Test it for yourself. See for yourself that he's not here." But then notice what he says. "But go your way and tell." Now we know the rest of that verse. He says to tell the disciples, to tell Peter, he gave them specific people he wanted to tell them. But this can be our takeaway as well. When we see Easter symbols, it gives us a chance to tell people what it means to us. To tell people that this is how it relates to Christ and what he's doing in my life, how he can give us new life. He can take our old life and turn it into something new. He can take our sinful nature and teach and grow in us the fruit of the Spirit. He can take someone who's not loving and teach them how to love. He can take someone who's not patient and teach them how to have patience. He can teach someone who's not long-suffering, teach them to have long-suffering. He can do that in our life because he's the God that is about new life. He's the God that is about transformation. And that's, as we leave Easter Sunday, let's be anxious to go our way and tell. Whoever God puts in front of us, whoever he puts on your heart, whoever he gives you the opportunity, tell them what Jesus has done for you. He's not dead. He's not still in some tomb. He's active and he's working, and he's worked in my life, and he can work in your life, is our message to everyone around. Hope you have a wonderful week. Hope you've had a wonderful Easter. And I've had a lot of fun. Thanks for being here with us. And we will talk to you next Sunday morning. And if I can help you in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Give me a quick call, text message, Facebook message, whatever. And love you all. Talk to you soon.